Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 after yet another fantastic sprint shootout. If you've been following the channel this season, you'll know that I'm a great fan of the sprint shootout. It's just wrapping up now. They've just given Max Verstappen the hat covered in paint to celebrate his great victory in the sprint shootout. We'll get into all of that and more as we dissect the session. Firstly, make sure you subscribe, but let's get into this. We have a 35 minutes delay to the start of the sprint shootout because yet again the FIA are terrified of water. I ask the question again, what is the point of the wet tyres? I mean, they never get used. We have tyres that are designed for when it's really wet. But when it's really wet, they just wait until it's intermediate weather. Just, come on, FIA, pull your finger out. Anyway, SQ1. And pretty early in, we get a report of Hamilton impeding Max. Looking at the onboards, I don't think this is that bad. It looks like Max was going wide around the outside of the corner anyway, so I don't think it was that bad per se. I don't think there'll be a penalty there, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, with 1 minute to go in SQ1, our drop zone were Hulkenberg with no time, Magnussen with no time, then Sargent, Stroll, and Norris. Norris actually really struggling in SQ1. I'm not really sure what happened there. But I'm not even sure what's going on with Haas either, because they had plenty of time to set a time and they didn't. There's a few times the guys just went round, then came back into the pits multiple times. Magnussen manages to set a time at the end of it, but Hulkenberg, he crosses the line 1 second after the checkered flag has come out, meaning he cannot set a time and will start 20th. When the final times come through, though, here's our drop zone. In 20th was Hulkenberg, as I said, with no time. Zhou was 19th. Magnussen only could manage 18th. Bottas 17th, and then Yuki Tsunoda in 16th. So Ricciardo out-qualifying Tsunoda here. He would have out-qualified him yesterday, I think, but his time got deleted. Russell very close to being knocked out here as well, 0.093 seconds off of 16th place, so very lucky to get through there and carry on. And as I said, Norris wasn't really looking strong in this session, but he would get better as we go through. Into SQ2, and Logan Sargent has a massive spin near the start, but manages to recover, doesn't hit the wall or anything, and keeps on going. Lance Stroll, though, is the one to make the call to go from intermediate tyres to dry tyres, going on to the mediums. And as they're starting their last laps, he is the only one on the mediums, and then he puts it into the wall. This brings out a red flag, which not only screws over himself, but also screws over his teammate Fernando Alonso, as well as Logan Sargent and Alexander Albon. At the end of SQ2, the guys who are out are Alonso in 15th with no time, Stroll in 14th with no time, Logan Sargent in 13th with no time, Alex Albon in 12th with no time, and then Ricciardo is 11th, and he actually did set a time. So Ricciardo starting very high in 11th place for the sprint shootout. Hopefully he might be able to get some points on the board this afternoon. And finally, into SQ3, and everybody is on the soft tyres this time round. And after the first few laps, after everyone's first lap, here is how our top 10 looks. 10th was Ocon, 9th Gasly, 8th Perez, 7th Russell, 6th Sainz, 5th Piastri, 4th Leclerc, 3rd Norris, 2nd Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton on provisional pole position with 2 minutes to go. Sergio Perez puts in a quick time, and on into the bus stop chicane, he has incredible traffic. There is like 5 or 6 cars all waiting to start their lap as he's coming through. But the way he manages it and navigates it through was fantastic. Perfect stuff from Sergio to finish that lap. But then everyone sets their final laps, and here is the top 10 for the sprint race this afternoon. So Russell will start 10th, Ocon is 9th, Perez only managed 8th, Hamilton went from provisional pole to 7th place, Gasly in 6th, Lando Norris 5th, Charles Leclerc 4th, Carlos Sainz in 3rd, Oscar Piastri 2nd, Max Verstappen is on pole for the sprint race. Oscar Piastri missing out on pole position by 0.011. Incredible lap from Oscar Piastri for that P2. I have been singing his praises for a while now about how good I think this guy is. And my God, I think everyone's kind of catching up to seeing how good he is here. Fantastic lap from him. I hope he can capitalise on this. I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up in the top 3 for the sprint race. Don't know if that officially counts as a podium or not, but whatever. Fantastic lap here. So close to being starting first on the sprint race. Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. When we think in the last couple of years of how difficult Ricciardo found it to match Norris, Piastri's come in here, rookie year, never competitively driven a Formula 1 car before, and he's matching Norris. And not only is he matching him, but occasionally he's beating him. Piastri's the real deal. He truly, truly is. And when you look at Norris as well, he's no slouch. He's doing fantastic. If you look at his career, each year he gets drastically better. He improves all the time. That's one thing I always say about Lando Norris's career. Every year you can see him getting better and better and better. And for Piastri to come in on his rookie year and already be at the level that Lando is, in what? Is this his 4th year? That shows you how good Piastri is. He's a star of the future for sure. I don't like it when people say he's a future world champion because you can never really know, but for my money, I think Oscar Piastri is a future world champion. Anyway, something I like to do on the sprint shootouts is compare the differences in positions between our proper quali that we had yesterday and our sprint shootout quali that we had today. Now, interestingly, there are 2 people who are in the exact same positions in both sessions, and they are the people who start at the front and the people who start at the back. So Max Verstappen was quickest in both sessions, and Nico Hülkenberg didn't set a time in either. So both men start first or 20th. Well, Max won't start first, but both men qualified first or 20th in both sessions. Nobody actually made a gain or a loss of just 1 position. There was a few who gained 2. That was Sainz gained 2. Sainz gained 2 and Norris gained 2. In terms of losing 2, Leclerc lost 2 positions, Russell lost 2 positions, and Zhou lost 2 positions. Let's have a look at some of the bigger losers. Bottas losing 3 positions there. Hamilton also losing 3 positions. Then there was Stroll who lost 4. Then we go into the 5s. There's a few who lost 5. Perez lost 5 positions. Yuki lost 5 positions. Magnussen lost 5 positions. But the biggest loser of them all, from quali to shootout, is Fernando Alonso, who will start 6 positions lower in the sprint than he will in the proper race on Sunday. But the biggest gainers, let's have a look here. Albon has gained 4 positions. Piastri gained 4 positions. Anyone else? Sargent gained 4 positions. Ocon gained 6, Gasly gained 6, but the biggest person on the gains is Daniel Ricciardo, who will start 8 places higher in the sprint than he will in the race. So there you go. Big gains, big losses throughout sprint shootout. What a wonderful session yet again. I don't know if I'm in the minority or not, but I do prefer the sprint shootout sessions to just regular qualifying. I didn't think they were going to work for Spa because it's such a long track, and I don't think they were as good as what we saw in Baku or in Austria, but still a very enjoyable session. And of course, still to come today, we have the sprint race this afternoon, so make sure you subscribe because we'll be doing all the coverage of that. Then tomorrow we'll have all the coverage of the F3, F2 and F1. The F2 sprint is supposed to start like any second now, but there was the big delay for this sprint shootout, so I now have no idea when the F2 was starting, but hopefully I won't miss it. Looking at the screen here, they're interviewing Oscar Piastri going, "Wow, you are marvellous, aren't you?" And he's going, "Yes, I am." So there you go. That's all we have time for here on the sprint shootout. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you later on. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.